Welcome to Balaruc, a prime example of a Mediterranean town, lying between the sea and the Garrigue, coastal scrubland, in the heart of the protected environment of the Bains de Balaruc is the most important health resort in France. Since ancient times the history of Balaruc has depended on its thermal spa. The tourist office is actually in the Savigny Pavilion, named after the Baroness de Savigny, generally known as the Marchioness de Savigny, who added greatly to the fame of the spa in the 17th century. Here you can pick up a visitor's booklet which will make your stay more enjoyable. The Promenade des Bains runs alongside the lagoon for almost 2 kilometers until it reaches the Impasse des Calanques, with magnificent views out over the Bains de The Promenade des Bains leads to the Manureva Nautical Centre, which is adapted and equipped to welcome visitors with disabilities. A specially designed pathway links the parking area to the pontoon, which is fitted with access ramps. If you choose the health and well-being break, make your way through the luxuriant parks and gardens, until you reach the thermal baths in the Obalia Spa, the premier spa of the Mediterranean. For lovers of botanical history, do not miss the Jardin Antique Mediterranean, where you can follow a chronologically themed path illustrating the Garden of Antiquity and its different functions at the heart of Mediterranean civilization. The kitchen garden was the fundamental feature of the urban landscape of the 2nd century BCE. It was principally mixed planting integrated into a vineyard in the heart of an olive orchard or fruit trees, such as almonds, apples, pomegranates, figs, hawthorn, arbutus, etc. You can see some wild vine stocks, woody creepers known as lambrusques or wild grapes. When young they creep along the ground searching for a shrub with which they can entwine and so grow with it. Alongside the plots of domestic planting which you have just crossed lies the sacred wood, a Greek tradition, which was a public space often linked to a sanctuary. A little further on is a funerary plot, which also had its garden where plants for making funerary wreaths were cultivated. They were used to braid with flowers to make wreaths to offer to the gods of the underworld. Next comes the ornamental garden, typical of the 1st century CE, an enclosed area where the surrounding architecture and water features dictate how the space is used. The first ornamental garden is dedicated to medicinal plants, the heart of the Greco-Roman pharmacopoeia. Facing out over the lagoon, this garden is organized around the apotheke, which in ancient Greece referred to the water storage tank, so necessary to the survival of medicinal and magical plants. The second ornamental garden is set out in terraces. Its theme is culinary plants and is dedicated to the family of Apicius, a dynasty of Roman chefs, creators of emblematic recipes of Roman cuisine. The last Apicius lived in the 1st century ACE. Like a wine connoisseur, he was said to be able to identify where a food had come from by its taste. The third ornamental garden is the Garden of Venus and comprises of a bird bath and a semicircular portico very typical of Roman architecture. Perfumed plants, damask roses and jasmine cover the length of the Tuscan-style colonnade. In Roman times, the rose was part of every big life event during the first 2 centuries. The belveders framed views over the countryside. In stone or marble, the pergolas and porticos were designed to support either cultivated or wild vines, or other climbers in order to shade the walkways and make strolling along them more pleasant. Our walk takes us to the Garden of Toparius, literally the gardener who paints and sculpts. The evergreen shrubs have been pruned into geometric or human and animal shapes. Feel free to keep coming back to the gardens and watch them change with the seasons. Don't leave this part of the world without sampling the local gastronomy. Take a trip into the Garrigue that surrounds the town, into the vineyards where local winemakers will take delight in sharing their passion with you. See you soon in Balaruc on the European cultural route, Vitis, les chemins de la Vigne, the paths of wine heritage.